just building suspense. And then what happened was, wham! And my phone turns off. Oh, whatever. Yeah, I must have a time limit on the amount of time I can speak, but it probably was time to split it into 2 parts. That was the morning part. Now let's talk about the Gilets Jaunes. What happened? Well, I was at the BHV. Excuse me, I'm trying to get situated in this gorgeous, you can't see it, in this gorgeous chair. And so I was at the BHV, and I'm like, it's time for me to go home. Or either go to the Basilica. I still hadn't made up my mind. Maybe the Basilica, which is far. Maybe home. But again, I had eaten too much for lunch, and it was really heavy and sitting on me, so I think a nap. So I go outside the BHV, and the subway stop is across the street. Right about the time I was getting ready to cross the street, and you can hear them, the Gilets Jaunes show up, and it's the beginning of their march. And they're marching down the street, and they're very peaceful, and they're carrying signs, but they are, yelling, not yelling, but they're chanting slogans. And at first I thought, oh, cool. And I should have run across the street at the very beginning, because there weren't many of them, and I could kind of see them coming, but I didn't. And by the time I realized, oh, because they got more and more of them as they were coming through, I thought, the subway's over there. Maybe I'll just go through them. I'll just cross the street. Little voice in my head said, no, that is not a good idea. You don't just cross the street when there's a big protest march happening. No one else is just crossing the street. Some of you told your mother you would run the other way if you saw them. So I thought, well, okay, they're marching. Give them a moment. They'll run through. I'll just go the other way. There's got to be another subway stop around here somewhere. So I was looking for another subway stop, and I did find one, but it was also on the other side of the street. So as I was back there looking for stuff, Mom, do you remember that store in Montmartre that had the cool clothes that we liked? We bought the jumper, the dresses at, and we also, it was the same people that had the stand in the market. I found another store like that, so I bought 4 dresses. Heck yeah, $25 a dress. Actually, no. Well, it was $84 for 4 dresses, so $21 a dress. What? So cool. And they're that kind of funky pockets. Anyway, so I spent about 20 minutes in there and thought, oh, okay. Well, surely they're done by now. So go outside, stick my head out. Nope, they're still coming, and they're even thicker, like in that they're denser, the marches. And I'm like, oh. So, okay, well, I have to wait then. So I decided to go sit down, and I sit down in the park, and I wait another 15 minutes. Get up, they're gone. Great. They've moved on. I can get to the subway. So at this point, I was tired. I am going home. I'm not going to the Basilica. So I go next door. I get on the subway. I'm at the Hotel de Ville, which is that's the city hall. So that's what I'm thinking. That's why they were marching. It's City Hall. Of course they're marching. I said I wasn't going to be anywhere near them, but here I am at a big department store across the street from the City Hall. Of course I ran into them. So I go across the street in the Hotel de Ville, and it is I have to go 2 stops, and then I'm going to walk the rest of the way home. So the first stop is St. Paul. So I get on the train. We get to St. Paul, which is where the Villa of St. Paul was, that non-market. And the guy comes on the announcement, and he says, I don't understand all of it. He says something about pas, which means not. And he says prochaine, which means next, and then some other words. Then luckily in English he comes back and he says, this train will not be stopping at the next subway stop. This train will not be stopping at the next subway stop. The next subway stop is the Bastille, the Bastille stop. And I thought, well, that's really weird, because that is a big stop. And why would they not stop there? But I better get off. So I got off. I'm just going to walk it. What the heck? So I'm walking, and I'm drinking my wine. Cheers. So I'm walking down what is the Rue Saint-Antoine, which is the main street that kind of connects the Bastille to St. Paul. So it's just a straight shot. And my apartment is on the flip side, the exact opposite side of the Bastille. So it's a roundabout, it's a circle. So typically, I would walk up to the Bastille, just walk around the sidewalk on the inside till I got to the other side, and then keep going. and then I would end up at home. And so I'm starting to walk, and I noticed there are a lot of people on the street, you know, and I start to notice that they have vests. Not all of them. Some people are putting their vest on. Some people are putting their vest off. They're not really marching anymore. These group of people over here were singing Imagine by John Lennon. There are like 10 people over there just hanging out, and there's 3 people over there going into a bar, and there's people over there, and they're just talking, and people are just hanging out on the street. And and then you see the riot police, who also not doing anything. They're just standing around watching. Okay. I think, okay, so apparently they were marching here to St. Paul for whatever reason. They just wanted to march past City Hall, and here they are, and now they're disbanding. And their people are still like talking, and they've still got their signs, but they're not walking anymore. And so I'll just keep going. So I kept going. And then I noticed that it seemed to get a little bit more crowded and a little bit more crowded. And then like 20 riot police guys on motorcycles come buzzing by. I noticed there aren't cars anymore. And about that time, I start to realize, oh, they're not marching anymore, because I could hear them. About 3 blocks in front of me was the Bastille, the roundabout. It was full. That place was packed with the Gilets Jaunes, and they gathered in the Bastille, which is interesting. Historically, they're trying to make a point. And that's when I noticed there is a circle, riot police all the way around the Bastille, and everyone's being nice. I mean, you can certainly hear the chanting by now. It's really loud in the center. Back where I am, again, people are just gathered, and no one's making a problem, and no one's saying anything. The police aren't saying anything. And again, I had that little voice in my head that said, I need to be on the other side of this circle. The quickest and easiest, the quickest way would be to cut straight through. We'll just keep on walking. The police guys weren't keeping people from getting into the Bastille. They were just there with big guns to make sure people knew they were there. But no, I said, that's not smart, because even though it's peaceful out here, it's peaceful now, you don't know what it's going to be like in the center, and you don't know what it's going to be like 5 minutes from now. So this is a large group of people. So go around. But you know what? Going around a circle, especially a roundabout, is not like making a block. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go up one and take a left and then go over a bit and come back down and I'll go around it. No, it's a big circle, and the streets aren't perfectly square. They kind of go in all different directions. And so I start walking, and I think I'm going up, I'm taking a left, I'm going a far long way, I'm going to take another left, I should be going down around, and then no, I'm back at the Bastille. I'm at the Bastille again. How did I do that? Turn around, walk around, take a left, walk in, go straight, go further, take a left, and back at the Bastille again. All roads lead to the Bastille. So I just get really frustrated. So this time I turn around and I walk, and I'm like, I'm going to walk far. I'm going to go far. I'm going to get, and I didn't know where I was. And finally I hit this Rue Charonne. Well, my apartment is at the corner of Rue Charonne and Voltaire. And so I'm like, ooh, one of my streets. All I have to do is follow this all the way home, and easy breezy. So I start walking, and I'm really actually happy this happened, because I saw the coolest stuff back there, little shops and bistros. The Monsieur Poirot Bistro, that's right, Monsieur Poirot. They had a Monsieur Poirot Croque Monsieur and a Miss Lemon Croque Madame, and they had all these other stuff. It was really cute. So it's all about books, and they also had like a wine cave. I'm coming back. They didn't open until 7, and I was at the moment. I was thinking I might come back at 7, but no. It's like 7:30 now. I'm not going back. No, my feet are up. My shoes are off. But anyway, it really interesting. I also saw Le Café de Chat, which is the cat cafe. Interesting story. Anne, who owned the Airbnb that I stayed in Rouen, her daughter owns the cat cafe, and she had given me the address and told me to go by, but there was a line out the door, and I was like, no way. Maybe another day. So I kept walking, and I'm looking at all the cool stuff, going, oh man, it's very Williamsburgy. Back up in there and all the kind of stuff, and the hip people sitting out, drinking their coffees and beers and whatnot, and their cocktail. The word cocktail is everywhere. And So I'm walking, I'm thinking, any minute now, I'm going to start recognizing my neighborhood. Any minute now. And right about that time, some older woman came up and she asked me in very clear French if I knew where the subway was. It was clear enough that I could understand it, which is how I knew she was not French. So I basically told her that I wasn't French and she's English. And it turns out that she got kicked off at Bastille, or before she got there. And she's been turned around and she was trying to find her way to any subway so she can get home to her where she is. And she had these two young girls with her, young, 25. Yeah, so, and they were French. And they were trying to help her find the subway, but they weren't from that neighborhood either. And they were on their phones and I'm on my map. And turns out I was walking back toward the Bastille. I was doing it again. I got on the right road, but I was doing the road that leads back to the center. So I followed them, turned around. Long story short, or short story long, I made it home, but it took me about 2 hours to get home from the Hotel de Ville with all this. So around 6 o'clock, by the time I got in this home, I was beat. I was tired. I passed by this place that had roasted chicken. I'm like, give me that chicken. I didn't say it like that. I said, j'aimerais, s'il vous plaît, un polo. No, not polo. Poulet traditionnel. And I got a roast chicken. Anyway, that's my Gilets Jaunes story. It's not much of one, but it was quite exciting. Oh, I didn't tell there were helicopters going around. I haven't watched the news. I don't know what happened. I'm assuming not much. I'm assuming it was just a lot of people, and they were all there just in case something happened, but I hope nothing happened. I haven't heard any, everything's been quiet. Like no sirens or anything. I think it's close enough I'd hear it. But anyway, that is my story. This is a long one. This is like 30 minutes in 2 pieces. So, hands-free. See, hands-free, I talk longer. Maybe it's better if I hold it, then my arm gets tired and I have to shut up after a while. Anyway, tomorrow's another morning of markets. I'm going to the bigger flea markets on the outside of the town. So I know they'll be happening and I know I'm going to find some good stuff. So I'm going to finish eating my roast chicken and some cheese and a baguette and some potatoes. They're right there. Oh, I wonder if I could. No. Gosh. How hard is it?